Well, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisol Colquitt, author of Finding True Love Through Online Dating, a Christian Woman's Guide, now available on Amazon and eBay, and as well as my website, www.marisolcolquitt.com, available on as an ebook as well as a paperback. Well, tonight I wanted to talk to you about the pros and cons of online dating, which again is one of the chapters of my book. Now, I wanted to tell you, if you're looking for a book that's really comprehensive and it's really covering almost everything that you need to know about online dating, especially the benefits or the advantages and disadvantages, and a very transparent one too, because I'm very honest about my experiences. I do share my own personal experiences so that you can learn, even as well as my mistakes, so you can benefit from that, and that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. And I lay out everything in this book so that you can decide for yourself whether online dating is for you or whether you should try online dating or not. Now, like offline dating, of course, there are many advantages and disadvantages. And again, I am very honest, and I hope that you'll also have an open mind while watching this video. So what are, of course, we're going to start with the positive. What are the pros? No second guessing. Maybe it's just me, but in the Filipino culture or in the Asian culture, we're not trained to be forward with men. We don't ask men to go out with us. We wait for men to approach us, and if they never do approach us, then there's nothing we can do. And we don't ask them, like, what are we doing? Some Filipinos are, but I was one of those who were timid, and I didn't know what to say, didn't know when to ask, what to ask. So I mentioned in the book that I did go out exclusively with a male friend, but I was, learning about the fact that he was actually going out with other women, but I really didn't know if it was true or not. So I had no idea what he was doing with me, what his true intentions were. I had a lot of proofs, as you may call it, that, fellow common friends or fellow friends would say, Marisol is into you, and then even his own friends, they were saying things like, one of his co-workers was even saying that your husband, he's not even a boyfriend of mine. So they were very close. So, but I never asked him. So, with online dating, and again, there was somebody I knew who went out with a friend for several years actually, and she never asked him if they were dating. He never asked her, and they never clarified, but they were basically doing everything boyfriends and girlfriends do. They exchanged gifts, they went out to the movies, and they go out on picnics and all that. But of course, they visit each other's homes. Long story short, probably after 3 decades of being together or hanging out, the guy found somebody else and married that woman, leaving the woman devastated, of course. So you're probably one of those women who is in a limbo right now. You're going out with somebody, a good friend of yours, but you don't know what his intentions are. So I would really encourage you to find out sooner rather than later, and it's worth risking it rather than wasting many years of life, and just end up with nothing. Okay? And so now again, number one would be no second guessing. Number two, you can ask the right questions freely. Just like, no second guessing with online dating. You can just ask whatever you want, because you know what? You're not scared of offending or losing that guy's friendship or that woman's friendship, because you know what? you've just met, and you're really just getting to know each other. You're practically strangers when you haven't met each other personally or in person. So you can really ask whatever questions the sky's the limit, that you want. So you can just practically far away, and you do it at your own pace. You can try and force it, or you can take it as slowly as you want. Some women, they expect things to happen faster in not in person. They expect things to happen faster online than in person. But I really think that's a misconception, because you have to spend more time getting to know each other online, because again, you didn't meet in person. So I would advise you to take your time rather than forcing it to happen right away. You can ignore the men or women you don't like. You can just ignore the messages or ignore the chats, or just delete the messages completely. In person, if somebody knocks in your door, you can just slam the door at the person because they know you. Maybe he's a co-worker, maybe he's a common friend, maybe he's an acquaintance. So you can't just ignore a person completely. No, and then of course less opportunity for you to get hurt, because again, if you haven't really known each other that long, if you haven't really spent enough time with each other, there's no way that you could actually fall in love with somebody. I know that things do happen virtually, even if they haven't met in person. So I'm hoping that you're not gonna be one of those, because again, you have to always guard your heart just as much as you do in person. Now, what are the cons? Well, there's a lot of fraudsters, or what I call frogs. You have to go through hundreds of frogs probably before you find a prince. Okay, but in reality, it's the same in person as well. So you just have to be wise, and again, always be in tune with the Holy Spirit. You'll be bombarded with emails or with messages, or like wanting to know, you're asking you thousands of questions. They're like, you're not even responding, but they just keep sending you messages. And then of course you get unwanted attention from unwanted individuals. Some people will just, hey, I want to marry you, I love your profile, will you be my wife? Like, you're the woman of my dreams, and all that. It's just crazy. And you know what, just try to laugh at them instead of being bugged or being bogged down by all of these incessant emails. Just laugh, because otherwise you'll be frustrated. And then it's hard to decipher the truth from the lie. Sometimes it's hard, but again, even in person, there's a lot of scammers in person too. There's a lot of fraudsters in person too. So you really have to be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. So again, to me, there's no difference between online dating and offline dating. You always have to be smart, you always have to be wise, you always have to be careful. So that's the only way you can tackle it. And it can be a dangerous place as well. Well, so many things happen in person as well. So you really have to be careful. But again, if you want to know everything about online dating, grab a copy of my book, because I think this is the most comprehensive book you'll ever find on online dating. And again, if you follow my advice, if you follow the tips, especially the online dating safety tips that I provide, which is very comprehensive, if you follow this book, I really don't think that you're gonna fall into a trap. The only reason why you'd fail or miserably is if you ignore my warnings. And if you don't pray, and if you don't listen to godly advice, or if you don't seek godly counsel. Again, I'm here to listen. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I can only share what I know. But at the end of the day, the decision is yours. But I would also encourage you to try online dating if you've never tried it. What have you got to lose? If you've been waiting, you've been praying, you've been wanting, you've been longing, and nothing has happened in person. In-person dating is as dangerous as online dating, okay? As I mentioned in a previous video, there's really no difference. You can't put one above the other because they're both avenues that God graciously allowed for us to have. So if you're not willing to dip your toes in the online dating world, then I'm worried that nothing might happen with your love life. So if you have hesitations, if you still have fears and doubts and concerns, grab a copy of my book, Finding True Love Through Online Dating, A Christian Woman's Guide, available on eBay, Amazon, as well as my website, www.marisolcolquitt.com. And hey, don't forget to hit subscribe because it's really going to help the algorithm. And of course, it's going to let you know when a new video has come up. And I do want to share some more videos that are not related to online dating that I might not even post on Facebook if you're on my Facebook page, Soulmate from God, because there are things that I want to talk about that I don't really want to broadcast to the whole world. I only want it to be found organically, like dealing with infertility, things like that. The other day I just had my HSG, so some things that I'd rather not talk about on this. I'll talk about it on this channel, but I'm not going to share on Facebook or on Instagram. So you wouldn't know that I have those videos if you don't hit subscribe and or the notification button. And again, you are loved, you are precious, you are chosen, and you're beautiful / handsome if you're a man. And God has not forgotten you. God has not forsaken you. God has great plans for you. God bless.